Hey everybody and welcome back. Today we are back with another video with Professor Upendra Baxi, and this one is by popular demand. A lot of you asked if we are going to be continuing with the series, and the answer is yes. We are going to be continuing with the series, and today we are discussing some important topics with Professor Upendra Baxi. In this video, we discussed the importance of Magna Carta and also the unwritten constitution of UK. It might seem to you that where would these questions be relevant? A, they are great for your general knowledge and for improving your personality, which comes in very handy at the interview stage. A lot of times jurisprudence questions are asked at the interview stage, like someone has been asked about the pigeonhole theory and other theories. So having this kind of knowledge in your repertoire is great for interviews. And otherwise also, if you have jurisprudence in your state, then this will help you a lot because Professor Baxi is a doyen of jurisprudence. Asked him about the significance of Magna Carta and its place in jurisprudence. Magna Carta, if you don't know, is an important document which is often touted as a symbol of civil liberties. So how much of that is true and where does it stand today? We asked all of this to Professor Baxi, and we also discussed UK and its unwritten constitution and how does it function without a written constitution. And let's hear his edifying replies on both of these questions, and let's get into the video.
Well, I think if the Magna Carta, of course, is a very simple idea, attempt to limit the powers of the king. So Magna Carta is a contract ultimately signed between the king and the nobility. And some trickle-down effects of like liberty and equality and freedom of speech came much later. Magna Carta was the first. Why it is historic was that it gave certain rights to people who were not monarchs. Absolute monarchy ended. Feudal lords, basically, were given certain powers, and Parliament was a limited Parliament from now. Parliament was sovereign, but king had limited prerogatives. He cannot do whatever he or she liked. So limited powers, the idea of limited powers grew out of Magna Carta. That a government should be a government, no doubt, but it should be of limited powers. It's called limited government. And therefore, separation of powers grew from that. The idea of rights came out of that later on. Magna Carta is a basic document for civil liberties, ultimately, as constituted. Initially, liberties of the nobleman against the king. Well, it's a difficult question. Most people say UK is unwritten constitution. I believe it's partly true. It is partly not partly written. For example, until the Brexit happened, there was a treaty. When you undertake a treaty, it is by definition written. But UK has signed a large number of treaties which India has inherited, including boundaries, for example. They are all colonial boundaries. They are not real boundaries given by nature or history, but by specific history, that is colonialism. But British signed it to India. One part is common law, judge-made law, not written by Parliament. But Parliament can always override the law made by judges. Judges were not the final voice. Parliament or sovereign. But so in a sense, if you look at the law of contract, law of torts, the common law of the land, evolved by judges, law of merchants, law merchant, in concrete disputes, and they gave a judgment based on some principle. Out of the law declared that evolved such a principle. Now you will see in the 20th century, a lot of English law is made by Parliament. They just took out the common law and incorporated it, and Parliament added something to judicial law. But essentially, the law of contract is codified by Parliament. Is a instance of common law. becoming legislative law. So made a distinction between common law and law made by Parliament, and law made by judges became common law, and very many principles of common law are always codified later on by Parliament. So today, bulk of English law is written. There is something called spirit of common law which guides them.